A year ago, I stood on a cold curb, the night swallowing the words I meant to say. My bag was empty, but my heart was louder than the streetlights. I was barefoot in the storm I didn't choose, asking the universe to notice a person who wouldn't quit. Across town, my daughter found her own rhythm, New York sirens and skyscrapers, okay? I used to call her, she didn't used to answer. I wanted to run after her, but instead, I learned to stand tall, even when my knees shook. I whispered prayers at dawn and dusk, pressed the words into my pillow and listened for a sign that wouldn't fade. I wrote the truth on sticky notes, a door, a building with a new start, a way to breathe, something. But I prayed for a chance to be worthy of it. While finding myself, I got approved for a place, a new building on 85th in Vermont. I would have loved to stay there, but I couldn't because I was too busy in New York chasing my child. The humility, the shame, just the guilt. I felt like nothing. To anyone who's listening, just because you're in a storm, you're not a mistake. You're a story in progress, a heartbeat pushing through night. If you're listening, know this. Your smallest effort can unlock a door someone's been praying for. Tonight, I'm going to say a quiet prayer for someone still fighting for a home. Let me know if you believe in second chances, because I do. And if you're in the same storm, hold on. Please hold on. The dawn leaves traces of light in the most broken places. From homelessness to hope, today I moved in. Tomorrow I'll keep moving. You see how God worked? Another program overrided Hoppix and they let me right in. So now I go from temporary to permanent and out the program.
She out here writing poetry, man. So the soap opera continues, bruh. I'm watching shout out my cousin, man, BJ Investigates, right? She she was breaking things down in a perspective way. I wouldn't really, I didn't really see it like that. I mean, kinda, I'm not gonna lie, especially when it come to Mark. Some of the, the interviews he did with Nova and other underage little girls, it don't really sit all the way right, bro. You know what I'm saying? It come across, just a little creepy or whatever. Hey, we gonna get into that though, bro. Stay tuned.
I got tired of managing my money, whore. Managing my pussy, whore. A nigga told me, you don't manage your money good. No, nigga, I don't manage this girl down here good either. Because I don't believe so many lies, but when we go through heartbreak, we really realize, what's worth it. Ourselves. We really bet on other people when we're supposed to bet on ourselves. See, men, they value power and stability. Us women, we value love, catering to our man, spoiling them. When really, what are you spoiling them for? You didn't even spoil yourself. That's why I don't know who you are, because you don't even know who you are. And a lot of people always just tell me, like, you don't know your worth. And I say, it's not about being pretty. It's not about this. It's not about that. It's about how I feel on the inside. So I started a support group because we need support to remind each other. The fuck?
So speaking of support groups and managing your poom poom, whatever have you, right? That's one thing BJ, she highlighted, like Nova being presented on some of these platforms, right, by these adults. It come across as she being exploited all the way around, you know what I'm saying, so to speak. And not even so to speak, it's like flat out, like, to her it come across as like promotion of underage, you know what I mean, right, on everybody's behalf, from Mark to Adam to her mama, bro. We gonna keep it lit though. We gonna get into that too. Stay tuned.
I always end up on Fig. The guy, he goes, are you working? I'm like, yeah, I'm always working. What's up? He like, can I Apple Pay you? Is your name Juicy? Cut the crap. My number is, yes, you can Apple Pay me. My name is not Juicy, but it can be. I just came to get some cookies, sir. I didn't ask. But am I working? Baby, overtime. The fuck? I've been talking about money and dreaming about money and... But anyway, moral of the story is, I've been pulling in this bucket. Okay? It don't matter what you got. It ain't on you. It's in you. I keep trying to tell y'all. It don't matter what you got on. It don't matter what your face look like. It matters what you really thinking about inside of you, in your head. That money is gonna come. My young.
She said she just trying to get some cookies. Sound like bro was trying to get some cookies too. I ain't gonna lie, man. It's something about it, you know. Let's continue though.
Nothing beats a single mom who finally got daycare for them kids, baby, so she's outside.
City, maybe you should drive a Yukon. Pick up whenever you call. In the parking lot in Tucson. Like, are you with me? In the phantom with the roof gone.
I heard that. You know what I mean? Can't knock her. I ain't gonna lie. So, like I was saying, bro, it's come to my attention that, this shit is looking a bit, it's a bit strange a little bit, because you can look at it like it was a lot, for one, Adam, he faced a lot of backlash when he had Nova come up there. Even though she was with her mama, it was a supervised interview, right? Unlike some of the ones with Mark, even though they didn't did supervised interviews on that platform as well, it come across, right, for somebody like Mark, it comes across a bit creepy and exploitative because you don't seem that concerned, right? This is what I'm taking from the people and a little bit of my analysis as well, right? You don't seem that concerned about some of these young girls you have on the platform. It's like, oh, come do an interview and I'll see you later. Hopefully you're doing good. And, and also it's a bit alarming that the authorities ain't really on their job when it comes to this shit too as well. It's really deep, bro. You know what I'm saying? If we think about it, because BJ, her whole, she didn't call the federal rallies, bro. To keep it short, she didn't call the federal rallies and made reports on, because they got her on these websites. I'm sure she didn't stumbled across, well, we don't get into that, bro. She talking about how she stumbled across like some of this underage corn with Nova, you know what I mean? This, that, and the third, and it's a whole bunch of that, right? And it's alarming how it's just able to go on, bro. You know what I'm saying? But if you think about it, right, just look at Bad Bunny, or what's her name? The little Catch Me Outside girl. You see what they did with her in the industry, bro. She ain't have a chance, but we gonna keep it. I ain't gonna talk your ear off. You know what I'm saying?
There's a child being exploited by adults and used for online content. And worse, she's being used for worse, actually. Many of these same adults who are exploiting her also had a hand to play in making her become a, quote, famous child prostitute. Critics of these behaviors are publicly mocked, harassed, and sometimes sexually. Please, nothing I say in this video should be taken as if it is an accusation of a crime or an allegation of wrongdoing, especially against anybody in particular. Please do not contact anybody mentioned in this video unless it is the appropriate law enforcement authorities. This video is meant to be a public safety announcement.
And that's another thing, bro. She was on Lush and them because they, Lush, she trying to make a joke with the low-hanging fruit. Her name is BJ. So you're like, yeah, I love a BJ. And just being really, really unserious about a situation that involves child prostitution and, you know what I mean? Exploitation.
Involving what I genuinely believe to be a life and death situation, not only for Nova, a perpetually, consistently missing child named Renaya Moorhead, but also for, who knows, uncountable, innumerable other children. Okay. This morning, I saw something I never wanted to see. I saw something I did not consent to see. It was within trying to follow the rules over here, child-related corn, I'll say, ography.
And let's be honest, bro. It's kind of hard to not stumble across some vulgar, ridiculous material when you doing your research on Nova and these matters, bro. It's crazy that it's just that readily available.
Depicting this child in multiple sexual acts. Now, the time of the recording or the live streaming of this video, the videos, the material remains public, and it's just on a public social media website. Yes, I did report the content to the platform, and I'm going out of my way to try not to say the name of the platform because I do not want anybody to try and find it. But it's just a regular social media platform. It's not even something off-grid like, Discord or something. It's just a social media platform. These videos have been up since September 17th of this year. So yes, I did report them to the site. And as soon as I reported them to the platform, they disappeared to me. But I can still go to this social media profile and I can still see, you reported this item. It doesn't say, this was deleted. So I can't see it anymore, thank God. But it's still up. So for that reason, I'm going kind of out of my way not to say which platform it's on because I do not want a single another predator, creep, or freak to victimize this child. Yes, I also reported this to the authorities. I will actually be continuing to report this to more authorities. I'm going to keep reporting it until somebody does something about it. I reported it to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I made a written report. At some point in making the written report, it looks like, we could benefit from actually talking to you on the phone. Would you mind calling the hotline?
And it's wild because with everything going on in the country, around the world, it's like, who gonna look out for the children, bro? And they kind of like, just leaving them to fend for themselves.
Calling the hotline, and I did. I talked to somebody on the phone named Kristen for about 15 minutes. And I told her my understanding of the story. I told her the links. I told her the profiles. I also reported it to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI. Yes, I did. The child abuse tip line. Now, later in the video, I'm going to go through what I actually said to these tip lines as far as the written ones. So put a pin in that. This child, Nova, has been all but advertised by adults, including her own mother, including YouTubers, grown men, Adam Grand Mason, 1622 of Nashua, with the No Jumper podcast. He himself, as well as the staff, hired staff or paid staff or whatever it is on that show, talent, I don't know how they have their agreements set up, but the people working at the No Jumper or on the No Jumper, they've also discussed, to varying degrees of what I consider to be appropriateness, this child, some calling her names such as fast and grown. Do with that information what you will. She's also really not only been talked about on this No Jumper, and I'm not talking about people that's just talking about her. I'm talking about this kind of like advertising, this kind of like normalizing, not criticism. Because when they have the advertising and the normalizing, then we have to have that counterbalanced with criticism. Because I'm not going to be able to let it stand that this is normal. This isn't normal. It's abnormal. It's degenerated, and I do not consent. In fact, and indeed, from where I'm sitting, it appears as though perhaps, I don't know, innocent until proven guilty, perhaps some criminal activities are going on. Okay.
Because they found it quite suspicious, right? It's just, spoiler alert too, Lush. Them sexual advances or jokes, harassment, whatever have you, unwanted, bro, advances. Yeah, she sent that to the federal rallies too. We gonna stay.
She's been advertised by adults, including her mother. She went on the Soft White Underbelly podcast, Mark Leta. She was, in my opinion, advertised as a, quote, 13-year-old runaway. That same channel on YouTube, Soft White Underbelly, has, or at least did have, videos called 13-Year-Old Institute about other children. Now, to hear Mark Laita say it, his defense of himself is, this is really going on out here in the world. You people are just soft. You just want to live in your bubbles. You don't want to see what's really going out here in the world. And you know what, Mark? You're right. You are so freaking right. Because if what is going on out here in the real world is what I saw this morning with my own eyes, I cannot get it out of my mind. I did not consent to seeing that. I didn't want to see it. If I could have signed up to never see it, I would have. I don't want to see what's really going on in the so-called real world, because that's not going on in my world. I've worked very hard to build up a bubble, in fact and indeed. And now this child, I believe strongly, and I'm going to get into the reasons why I believe it in this video, her life is in danger for more reasons and in more ways than one. And it has been exacerbated, in my opinion. In my opinion, it has been exacerbated multiple times over by these grown men who have put this child, starting at the age of 13, 14 years old, on their platforms with millions of subscribers. It has been exacerbated by that, in my opinion. They have thrust this child and her well-being onto the collective consciousness so that all of us...
So another reason why they looking at Mark particularly strange, right, is because the last interview I guess she did with them, I guess he paid her enough to where she could purchase a vehicle, right? Which is, because she was, well, that's how she explained it. Mark helped her get this car. Her mama didn't help her, and she, whatever have you, right? Which is strange, because it's like she underage. So they basically looking into it like, bro, if you supporting certain, like underage criminal activity, because technically that is some criminal shit, buying a kid a car or whatever. I don't know if he bought it for her, bro. He probably just paid her to duck it so she could get it. But even that, right? Somebody would be like, hold on, bro. Why are you giving her all this money? It's just kind of irresponsible or whatever have you. You know what I'm saying? Then he, in the interview with her, he talking about some, I like the way you growing up. And it's like, what? How she grew up, bro? She's still struggling out here, still being exploited, and still, you know what I'm talking about? It's crazy because she say she don't want to be saved, bro. She a kid though, and it's really some real mental gymnastics going on, bro.
Have to deal with the turmoil and the trauma of living through this and watching this child and not being able to do anything. No authorities are doing anything as far as what we can see. Maybe they started to do something with a Rico. With a little Rico, the Hoovers, then her name starts getting thrown around, and people are, in my opinion, threatening her. She better stay out the way for better days and better plays, or else she might get put in the dog kennel or whatever. As soon as maybe somebody's about to try and do something about a little Hoover gang here and there, children are getting threatened openly. So the public aspect of this story starts around December something, 2023, when YouTuber and professional photographer Mark Laita with the Soft White Underbelly channel featured this child. She was advertising at the time, or I don't know. I mean, that's what, to me, it was advertising. He's a commercial advertising photographer. That's how I see it. That he's objectifying his subjects, in my opinion. In my opinion. He might disagree with me. He's allowed to. This is my opinion. I'm allowed to have that. So 2023, Mark Laita posts this video, December. It's the end of the year, 2023, 13-year-old runaway. Now, in my memory, I feel like I originally saw it being called 13-year-old prostitute, but maybe not. Now, he posts this video up, millions of subscribers. The child is basically not, I would say basically naked. She was wearing little shorts, a little skirt, a little something, mini micro something skirt shorts. And she had on a little, a triangle type of bikini top. That was like mesh or net. It was see-through.
She definitely should have had more clothes on. That's another thing. They like, hold on, Mark. You just sit there with what she got her little Skippy outfit on and just record her. And you like it just I ain't gonna. And then they on Adam too. Adam, you was asking some weird ass shit too. Like, well, has P4K ever managed your box? Like, stop. This ain't a joking matter. You playing, bro. You doing this shit for like clicks and views, and that's the problem, bro. This a real kid in danger. You playing.
See through it. And the video came out, and it was uncensored as far as the chest. Okay. Now, people freaked out. Like, the general public even was like, what? Whoa, hold on. This is too far, Mark, even for you, my God. You couldn't have blurred that out. I mean, there was a big backlash. In that first video, Mark discusses institution and S work with the child. He told viewers pretty much exactly where she could be found and located, what type of illegal services she offers. I mean, I'm calling them illegal because she's a child. I'm not saying Mark Leta did anything with her. I'm not saying he did anything illegal. But he did discuss with her. I'm also not saying he didn't do anything illegal. I mean, I would like the authorities to investigate. However, I don't know because I wasn't there. He talked about some, in my opinion, very, very inappropriate things with this child in that video. And again, she's no top, like her top, she's wearing a top, but it's like see-through. Nova also said in the video that, in so many words, the reason that she was resorting to a life on the streets was because of her own mother, Tania. According to subsequent statements from Nova in different videos and different places elsewhere online, Tania is toxic. There's also video proof of them having a very difficult, tumultuous relationship. What appears to be Tania yelling, screaming, rage-fueled arguments between the two of them, wherein Tania can be heard calling Nova lots of names. We'll just leave it at that. But names that I would hope mothers wouldn't be calling their daughters. Now, in Mark's first 13-year-old runaway interview, he and Nova also discussed, P to the, I am big, what they were always talking about in the 90s and the 2000s, PI. They're getting real strict out here with what we could say. But they talked about that. Somehow they were allowed to talk about that over there on that video. They talked about prices. They talked about, why Nova didn't want to have any of the people in charge of getting her money and stuff. She's like, no, I don't want to do that. So after extreme and immense public backlash against Mark Leta for posting the video of the child like that, all uncensored, he would eventually send.
The authorities have been notified, and I think, it's about time. I wonder if they even care. Like I say, look at what happened with Bad Bunny. Look how they did her in the industry. You know what I'm saying? It seems we in a time, right, where, it's really like some survival of the fittest type shit. You know what I'm saying? The parents is throwing their children to the wolves. You know what I mean? And it's a trip, bro. It's actually, it's been going on, but like I say, the times we in right now is prevalent. But yeah, bro, you heard her. She didn't. Yeah, she want the authorities to look into Mark, Adam, Anthony, all y'all basically type shit. It's like, and cause who gonna look out for little Nova? She out here, you basically, like I say, fending for herself, bro. It's a cold thing too. Like, especially when you around, it appears that it's somebody you could run to because they adults or whatever have you. But it's treacherous when you got a bunch of adults around you who can't even conceptualize, right, the how foul certain shit is, regardless of, because it's a kid, so they can't consent and they don't have the proper tools to even make the proper decisions when it comes to shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like even I'm still growing, bro, learning and maturing. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine a little girl, bro. I got a little niece, bro. That shit, it be you know, bro, it's a terrible thing that it's people out here that don't have the wherewithal mentally, right, to make to it don't got discernment. They just evil. You know what I'm saying? Be plotting, looking for low hanging fruit. You know what I'm talking about? Lush federales might be on your ass talking about you want a BJ. A BJ, nigga. She would have came there and told you to whip it out. You would have got scared, nervous, nigga. A grower. I mean, yeah, I'm talking about whatever, bro. It ain't even nothing. But that's first off. You got my cousin messed up, bro. First off, nigga, don't be disrespectful. You feel me? Especially at a time as such, with a matter as such, we speaking about underage exploitation, bro. And you make.
Shout out to W.I.G TV in here. W.I.G TV. Somebody did it. He got his name, W.I.G TV.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, WIG TV,
Hey, I
man.
fuck with you, my nigga. I ain't. Gang, shout out. Hey, that's the king of the California right there. Y'all subscribe to W.I.G TV.
Keep playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say, ho, keep playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say, ho, I can't be playing with that paper, ho.